I'm just messing about.
I've just realised how wonky that poster is. Whatever. Hello everybody and welcome, whoever, wherever and whenever you are, to my Assassin's Creed Syndicate video. Right, so first of all, let me just tell you all, I am a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I absolutely love it. I've always got every single achievement or trophy of the Assassin's Creed series, platinums and the highest score, except for Assassin's Creed Rogue, because I was really into Unity at the time and never went back to Rogue, but I still have it and I will do it. Right, so I have just got the platinum trophy for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I got it last night, and I intentionally wanted to wait to make this video until I had the platinum, so I could give it the full review on what I think of the game and the series as a whole. First things first, the lead characters, Jacob and Evie Fry, who are from my capital city, which is London. So as you'll know, Jacob is a sort of rough and tough street fighter, straight talker, no messing, just a down-to-earth kind of guy. And his twin sister Evie is more of a thinker, tends to step away from the combat and likes to do things stealthily. When I first saw the trailers for Assassin's Creed Syndicate and saw what type of character Jacob was, I immediately grew to like him, because my favourite assassin of all time is Edward Kenway from Black Flag. Edward Kenway was very sort of straight talking, no messing about, didn't really give a shit about anybody but himself. And I saw a lot of that in Jacob, and so I thought that I would really like him. And his sister, I wasn't really keen on playing as two different characters, to be honest with you. I like just one protagonist, one person that you are, whether it's male or female, but I just like one person. With regards to the story of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I really didn't feel like there was much of a story there. The reason is because the first 5 Assassin's Creed games, 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations and Assassin's Creed 3, were all based around a guy called Desmond Miles, who was an assassin in the modern era, and the Templars had captured him and were looking into his memories to find the pieces of Eden that the assassins had hidden, etc, etc. The Templars have now got Subject 17, who is Desmond Miles, and they have set up a whole company and use his DNA to look back, and that's how we get to play as Edward Kenway back in Black Flag, as Arno in Unity, and now Jacob and Evie in Syndicate. One of the things I did like about the first 5 games is that there was sort of 2 storylines going on. You were looking for the piece of Eden in the memories, but you were also trying to keep away from the Templars in the modern day. I really enjoyed both those storylines, and once Desmond was taken away, once he died, you really only had the memories sort of storyline to go on. So the story in this is that there's this guy called Starrick, who is the leader of all of the gangs and stuff, and all of the Templars in London in 1880 odd, and basically you're just trying to get to him. So you know there are people who work for him that you've got to try and get to before you can get to him, and eventually that leads to obviously Starrick, and as usual it's Starrick and a piece of Eden. The piece of Eden that you were trying to keep away from the Templars and not necessarily use for yourself, but you are trying to get to keep that piece of Eden away from the Templars, and obviously this main guy in this game, Michael Starrick. So for me, not much of a story. You just going to kill all the Templars, and then you're going to go and get the big bad boss at the end and protect the piece of Eden, and everyone's very, very happy. So story for me was very bland. One of the things that I really liked about Assassin's Creed Unity was the new gameplay mechanics coming from an upgraded engine, and what I really did like are the fact that you could now free run down as well as up, which was fantastic. So that has been carried on exactly the same in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and it feels good, it feels fluid, it feels smooth most of the time. Now the one thing that I really did not like in Assassin's Creed Syndicate was the combat. I loved the combat in Black Flag on sort of the old gen engine, and then in Unity I wasn't keen, but I got used to it, and in the end I did really enjoy it. but I think that if I hadn't have been going for the Platinum Trophy and having to fight so much, I would never have gotten used to it. I suppose they had to change the combat slightly in Assassin's Creed Syndicate because Jacob was very he was a street brawler and he used weapons and stuff, and the only thing I didn't like was the counter system. I didn't really like many of the animations. I found it's one of the things that you could do is you could kill like 4 people in one go or 3 people in one go, and sometimes it was really difficult to get that time in and stuff, and I think that was more of an error on the developer's part than the user's part. Rocksteady in Batman Arkham Knight have absolutely perfected the combat system, and I don't think anybody's going to ever come close to that, which meant that really I didn't really like the combat at all in Syndicate. And again, as I was going for the Platinum on this, I did sort of start getting used to the combat more, but I still didn't like it. Another great feature for me in the gameplay was the horse carriages. Initially, I didn't like them at first. I never liked anything at first, but I didn't like them. I didn't think it was needed. But once I got used to the controls, they were actually pretty easy to handle. So really enjoyed that part about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And then the very best thing about Assassin's Creed Syndicate was that rope launcher. I know it just looked quite gimmicky, but I was busting to get the rope launcher, and you get it about a third in of the story. And the first thing I did, I think actually it was part of a mission, you had to scale Big Ben, and for the last sort of 8 years, 9 years, or however long Assassin's Creed been going, I'd scaled all of these buildings up and down, and now with one press of a button I'll be up at the top in a few seconds. I know that they had to add something like that because the roads were so wide because of the horses' carriages. So zipping across buildings and going up buildings with a rope launcher was a fantastic new addition. It was welcomed, it was a breath of fresh air. It made the game feel less grindy really, and you could just zip straight up to the top of that building. Absolutely loved the rope launcher. Now graphically, the game is absolutely stunning. There's nothing else quite like it next gen in such a big open world. It really does look fantastic. For me though, graphics isn't everything, and it's just an added bonus for me. Right, so let's talk about the content in the game. So the game obviously is a single player game, and after the story, what else is there to do? Well, there are lots of side missions from lots of iconic figures. I won't give too much away. I know I've spoiled some things already, but I won't give too much away about the people that you meet. The collectible wise, it's probably one of the lowest amount of collectibles you've got to get in order to get the Platinum Trophy. I remember Assassin's Creed 1 back in 2007, there were 400 flags to collect, and they were not marked on a map at all. You had to go by memory or write it down, things like that. The newest Assassin's Creed games now, you can buy maps to show them, or you can earn the maps. Either way, it's really easy doing all the collectibles. There's not much to it at all. Right, now one thing I definitely want to talk about is the lack of multiplayer in the Assassin's Creed games now. I think that personally, if you're going to make an Assassin's Creed game come out every year, you need to have the lastability with it. So for example, the games that come out every year, so you've got your Call of Duty and you've got your FIFA. And one thing that's heavily emphasised on those games is the multiplayer side of it. Who buys a Call of Duty for the story? Who buys the newest FIFA just so you can play manager mode or career mode? It's all about Ultimate Team and online multiplayer and stuff like that. I was actually quite a big fan of the multiplayer in Assassin's Creed, and it was first introduced in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I didn't think it was a good idea that they were bringing it in, to be honest, but it had it in right up until Black Flag, and I still play it now. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Multiplayer wasn't very popular amongst the community, and I think there are several reasons for that. One of them is that it was more of a strategy game than anything else. You know, you had a target to kill and someone had a contract to kill you, so you were constantly being chased while you were chasing, and there the ways that you would kill people, you could try and be sneaky, stealthy, and the more stealthy you were, the more points you got. Or you could just run and gun, but you didn't get many points for that. If you're gonna release an Assassin's Creed game every year, you've got to make sure that the game will last longer than just a season pass. So I've just got the Platinum Trophy, and Jack the Ripper DLC comes out on, I think it's Tuesday. And after that, what am I going to do? That's it, the game's gone, it's done. If you look at Call of Duty and you look at FIFA, they're very, very online and multiplayer based games. They need to bring the multiplayer back, and I think that even if you don't play the multiplayer, you know that you've got a game that you can put, after the story's done, there is a game that you can continue playing online. What is the future for Assassin's Creed? We've seen where it's come from, we've seen where it is now, but what will happen in the future? Personally, even though it's my favourite franchise, I don't think they should bring it out every year. I think they should have a couple of years gap now where they can concentrate on a fantastic modern day story. I think they've got a lot of things right. I think that the gameplay, apart from the combat, is great. Graphically it looks fantastic. The characters seem to be quite likeable. Now I'll be honest with you, I did not like Assassin's Creed Syndicate when it first came out. I got it, I was looking forward to it, I started the game, and I didn't really like Jacob and Evie at first. As you'll see from my previous videos, I uploaded about 15 parts of the story and I put the game down. There were other games coming out that I fancied more. God, I feel like I'm in confession asking for forgiveness, but I knew that I had to get the Platinum Trophy on the PS4. I knew I had to do it because I've done it with Unity, I've done it with Black Flag, and I've done it with all of the previous games on the Xbox. I've got the 1000 gamer score. So in the back of my mind, I always knew I had to go back to Syndicate because it was part of something that I'd done every year when the game came out. So I went back to the game, I went through the story, but I didn't record it because I wasn't enjoying it. And I think because I knew what was coming, I knew that I was going to have to kill a few bad guys to get to Starrick at the end. And once I'd done that, that was it. But once the main story was sort of over, I went and started doing side missions, collectibles, and I found myself going from grinding the game to get the trophies to actually enjoying playing it. In the end, I really, really liked the game. So I feel bad because Assassin's Creed is my series, and I didn't really like this one initially. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is one of the best Assassin's Creeds I've played. It's not my favourite Assassin's Creed, my favourite is Black Flag, but I did not like Assassin's Creed Syndicate at first. So all I'm saying is that if you've started the game, you can't really get away with it, just give it a chance. Just try and get through the main story, and after that start heading for the Platinum, and you'll find you really, really enjoy it. Anyway, that was more of a detailed review, and I hope you find some of the things I said valid. Just bring back multiplayer, Ubisoft, bring it back, it's needed, especially if you're going to bring it out every year, but don't feel like you have to. If you're going to make a fantastic single player game, bring it out every 3 years, not every year. Right, so that's it. Thank you very, very much for watching. I'll see you next time.